Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know the significance of the African saints Monica and Augustine? Every year on August 27th and 28th, we celebrate the feasts of Monica and Augustine. Monica was the mother of Augustine. She was born in the year 331 in the city of Tagaste in northern Africa, modern-day Algeria, and she died in the year 387. She was brought up a Christian from a noble family and eventually married a pagan, Patricius, who had a reputation for abuse and infidelity. All we know about Monica comes from the notoriety of one of her children, Augustine, the eldest son, born in the year 354, one of three children, a sister Perpetua and a brother Navigius. All of this is written in Augustine's famous work, The Confessions, and we have all this information on Monica from that work. From his father, Augustine came to appreciate Latin literature, and he became a famous Latin scholar himself. From his mother, he learned a moral sensitivity and his eventual attraction to Christianity. Monica, we can consider her the model of persistent prayer. She prayed often for her husband, her pagan husband, to be converted to the faith, which he eventually did the year just before he died, in the year 371. She continually prayed for her son, Augustine, whom she loved very much, but yet at the same time saw him living a dissolute and unsettled life. He dabbled in all sorts of philosophical and theological movements that were considered heretical at the time, really challenged the Christian movement and so on. And she prayed consistently that he would be attracted to Christianity and be baptized a Christian. Of course, Augustine was brought up as a Christian, but he entered the catechumenate but wasn't baptized, which was very common in those days. The baptism would occur later on when they became an adult. So she prayed consistently that he would return to Christianity and be baptized. Augustine had also involved himself with a mistress and eventually had a son, and so this complicated the whole issue for Monica even more. But she wanted desperately for him to convert to Christianity. So Augustine moved to Carthage and studied law for a period of time. Monica did not let go. She followed him there. He left Carthage and leaving his mother behind, hoping that she wouldn't follow him, and he moved to Rome. She eventually followed him and continued to pray for him. He eventually moved to Milan, where he settled, and Monica followed and continued to pray for him. At this time, Monica persisted that he leave his mistress and he do a proper marriage. Augustine refused and did not want to marry. However, by this time, Augustine became really disaffected, wasn't really, he found the philosophical theological movements that he was involved with totally inadequate in answering his questions about life and about truth and the whole meaning of existence. And so under the influence of his mother and a very notorious and famous bishop of Milan, Ambrose, he began to be attracted once again to Christianity. And as he did that, he came under the influence of Ambrose and his mother and eventually decided to be baptized. So in the year 387, he was baptized roughly around the age of 33 and decided to commit his life to God. He and his mother decided to return back to Africa, and on their way they stopped just outside of the city of Rome in a city called Ostia, and there they had a mystical experience which is recounted in the Confessions. And soon after that, his mother dies in the fall of 387. Augustine continues his dedication to Christianity, and in 391 he's ordained a priest in the African seaport city of Hippo, and he lives a modest, frugal life to simplicity of the Gospels and so on. He even founded an order of religious women, and he wrote a rule for them, and that Augustine rule is still available today, that many men and religious men and women live their lives under the rule of Augustine. He was a brilliant mind of his time, probably the greatest, and he was a voluminous writer of letters, commentaries, homilies, theological treatises of all sorts, and much, much more. His most famous works were the Confessions, written in 398, in which essentially he recounts his journey to Christianity and his acceptance of God. And I would like, if possible, to read one little quote from the Confessions with regards to his growth in Christianity. Talks this prayer to God, and he says, "I have loved you too late, beauty so ancient and so new. I have loved you too late. You were with me, but I was not with you. I was away from you, running after the beauties which you have made. The things which exist only through you kept me far away from you. You have called, cried out, and pierced my deafness. You have enlightened me, and my blindness is banished by your brightness. I have tasted you, and I am hungry for you. You have touched me, and I am on fire with longing to embrace you." It's a beautiful quote from the Confessions showing his movements towards God. The other famous work that he wrote was The City of God, that was written from 411 to 426, in which he contrasted the cities of Jerusalem and the cities of Babylon, those people devoted to Christ and those devoted to the evil one. Right? And he fought heretics in his day, as primarily the Donatists and the Pelagians. He was the greatest mind, the greatest Christian mind of his time, and had a great influence on Christianity to this very day. And we thank, he died in the year 430 as the Vandals were really sacking the city of Hippo. And we thank God very much for Monica, who consistently prayed and gifted us with one of the greatest minds and the greatest saints in all of Christianity. So I hope this has helped to explain just a bit of the significance of these two African saints, Monica and Augustine, and I hope you'll return to more Do You Know series questions as we continue to delve into our faith traditions. Thank you very much.